Welcome back to another episode of the You Weren't There podcast. I'm, of course, your host, at Mia Was Here. We had an incredible show yesterday. Shout out to Link and to Stephen X. I really appreciate those guys for coming on, for being honest. And I appreciate the honesty of all the guests that we have every week. It's difficult to sit up here and to tell your truth and to do so transparently and sometimes to do it with strangers. So I'm always grateful that people are willing to share, people are willing to be open. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was kind of this beef between T.I and 50, the impact that it has, what happens when a bully bullies a bully, and sort of like the impact of like the cultural connection behind it all. And I think like bigger than that beef is really how it can feel as a Black person in this community to go through stress and to try to manage maintaining your reputation with being peaceful regarding the situation. So I wanted to give you guys some tips, things that I have been trying, things that I have been working on to try to make a more manageable situation concerning stress, concerning hardships, and just the things that we go through as adults. Step one, I think, is just to take a breath. I know it's like a common one, but deep breathing really does help you to like reconnect with yourself. The other thing is to break things down, right? Big problems can feel very overwhelming. So if you break tasks, problems, issues into smaller layers, it gives you a sense of control and also forces you to examine the situation rationally so that you're not approaching things as emotionally. Stay in the present moment. I think oftentimes when you reflect back on the things that you've gone through, the things that have caused you hurt or strife or stress or whatever, it's easy to just kind of go back to those moments, reflect on those, internalize those, and then to carry them around even further. But I think like worrying about the future or dwelling on the past keeps you from practicing a mindfulness that helps you to stay present. So stay in the present moment. Take breaks. I think it's helpful to me personally. I'm a vacation girly, but I think any kind of break, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's, going for a jog, whether it's going for a bike ride, take breaks when things get tough. Because that provides you with some quick meditation without you having to like maybe formally do that. And finally, I want you guys to prioritize self-care. And I want you guys to kind of start that this week. Stress can take a huge toll on your mind, on your body, which naturally affects the way that you live your day-to-day life. So if you can step away from that, make sure you're getting enough sleep, make sure you're getting good rest, make sure you are eating things that are good for you and not just good to you. I think if you can do all of those things this week, you're going to have an opportunity to manage your stress a lot better. So thank you guys so much for your continued and consistent support. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you enjoy this episode.
Heavy is the head. I see the boat throwing. I'm too full with it. I gotta keep going. Kobe with the wins. You niggas just your Nolan. You winning only cause of me. Let's keep the ball rolling. No disrespect, Slim. Where is your check, Slim?
Welcome back to another episode of the You Weren't There podcast. I'm, of course, your host, at Mia Was Here, and we got a great one for you today. Shout out to our brother Chaz. He's out today servicing the Lord and Islam, but we got two amazing guests for you today, and we're going to get right into it. Link?
Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? I'm Link, Yes Band 2.0. That's what I represent currently. That is my go-go band. You can follow that on IG, YESS Band 2.0 _ fan page. And also you can follow my personal page, which is LL Youngbull Link. LL Youngbull _ Link. That's my personal page. Just happy to be here. I miss my sister, man. I ain't seen her in God knows how long, but I'm glad I'm here now.
Been that long.
Nah, it's been a little minute.
Well,
I will say
been
couple years.
Nigga been busy.
Yeah,
I'm out here getting to this chicken.
Hey,
everybody know what it is.
Like we supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, just growing up, got into the rap game at an early age. I was like maybe 15, 16, started in school. Put my first album out at 16. I don't know if anybody remembers CD Baby, and I was Hand to Hand, Out of the Trunk,
Man,
you know, doing
true
everything I
classic.
could just to get heard, which I did. Had a nice little following with my label Cool Mind Records. Keep a Cool Mind Pimp. Shout out Hattie, Hollywood, Melly, Uno. You know what I'm saying? The whole 28th mob. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to make sure that we had a voice before anything else as far as getting out here in the streets when we was rapping. So once that didn't pop off and flourish the way I wanted to, I had to look at myself, got into the go-go world, came a lead mic for my band. So, you know, I just want everybody to go check that out.
For sure. Shout out to our production assistant. Switch the tickers at the bottom, bro. Steven, let's get into it.
Yeah. Happy to be back here again. Appreciate you for inviting me back. This is Steven X, Northeast DC. Been a creative now for well over half my life. And I started making music when I was in 2012. And then one of the biggest things that really just gave me a defined sense of purpose and identity at a young age and gave me something to really push for outside of what people's expectations were for me at the time. And then now I think about everything I've been able to accomplish up to this point. And that's just being able to perform in a lot of local spaces, like major local spaces, with some really like talented individuals, just showing up and being my best self. You guys can follow me if you want to support me. I am Steven X. That's Steven with a V, X like the professor with an underscore. That's where you can find me at. And this phase of my life, I'm just focusing on rounding out the other parts of my identity. I feel like the art self is a really like safe space for me, but being safe does not always equate to you being able to grow into your best self.
That's true.
So this era of my life, I've been focusing more on rounding out just like what my manhood should really entail, honestly. And I'm trying to incorporate that more into the art self or the art person that everybody already knows and evolve with it.
Okay. So like, I'm curious about that, right? What does that look like for you as far as like, who is it that you're trying to become like as a man, and how are you trying to integrate that into the art?
So manhood for me right now is creating a sustainable routine for myself. And that's not just pouring so vigorously into the art without having other things in place for yourself. So everybody knows that there's a cost that you have to pay in order to be present in this space. And what's not always articulated up front until you get knee deep into it is how much you really need to have saved up in order to do it consistently with quality. And like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years now. I'm 30. I just turned 33 last Halloween. And I started doing this when I was like 18.
Your birthday on Halloween?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's what's up. I've never met nobody's birthday who was actually on Halloween. That's dope.
Yeah, it's real fun to get into that later. But one of the things that more recently I've started to understand in terms of wanting to apply it is that your source of revenue does not have to solely come from creative ventures, even if you identify primarily as one. And for me, you asked the question, what does it look like? For me right now is identifying a therapist and reverse engineering a lot of the things that are mental blocks within myself, so that way I can be present as a more authentic version of myself. It's going back to school, because originally I dropped out of school so that way I could pursue my artistry full time. I was like, it was like 2011, and I went to HBCU at school at first, undergrad year. Shout out to Winston-Salem State. I was there from like 2010 to 2012. Should have finished in like 2013 if I stayed the course. But there were a lot of things that were happening at that time in my life that just compelled me to fall into what felt more freeing and liberating for me at the time. And I had goals for myself as far as like, okay, I'm gonna come back home to the city. I'm gonna see what I can do to get a supporting and the following. Started running the artists like yourself and a lot of other people like Nature Boy, Go Esco. There's a lot of people that I could just fire off if I really start to think about it. Jamal on the PA actually was one of my mentors for getting me real hip to media literacy in this area and teach me some of the like techniques on how to network and market my stuff on a consistent level. So I had a lot of those things that kind of came to fruition, and then I find myself in opportunities performing in spaces like the Fillmore, Union Stage, and also being able to travel to other places like Greensboro, Oakland, Baltimore, just pulling up and being able to showcase my stuff. And then I realized that while it's cool to have those goals and hit those marks, you got to want more for yourself. And I'm at this place now where I feel like I have the ability to bring a lot of different people together because I have a lot of overlapping experiences in network groups. But in order to do that, I have to be better equipped within myself to project the right level of competence in leadership. Two big words for me right now. But in order to do that, like I said, you got to round out other things within yourself. And like I said, that's me educating myself. That's me redefining how I train and condition my body and my mind as well too. So it's like I said, it's a lot of the intangibles that we don't think about just because of how our day-to-day life is set up per societal projections, really.
No, I 100% agree with that, right? And I'm curious about your take on that too, Link, because like you have been involved in the music in this area for so long, and you have transitioned into like an entirely different musical space, right? Because rap and go-go have always been these very, very separate things. And we've been talking more recently about the integration of like go-go into kind of like the modern rap space and like what that means for the city. Like, why isn't this our sound? Why don't more artists integrate it? And I know last week we talked a little bit about Devin Denzel, who did what is essentially an entire like go-go fusion album.
Really?
That got nominated for a Whammy. Now, I took a lot of heat this week because I was honest about the fact that like it wasn't one of my personal favorites, but I did think that, you know, overall, I thought the album was a great effort. You know, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't necessarily mean I'm a hater, but I do think that whether or not I was a fan of it is not relevant. And what is more relevant is the fact that somebody did it. Because I think like what Devin did on that album had to be done. I think like we need a consistent sound that embodies the culture of this area. And I think like we're the only ones, especially when it comes to like the way we're doing it in terms of modern day music. We are the community that shies away from that. Right. Atlanta don't shy away from what the Atlanta sound is. Like, I don't think like the West Coast, they don't shy away from what that sound is. Even New York, right? There's like a sound that comes out of it. When you hear a New York beat, like, you know where that comes from. But I feel like we're the only ones that don't. And I'm curious of like your experiences and why you think that might be.
Well, I don't necessarily think we shy away from it. I think it's more so of no one has put it to the forefront to give it that immediate attention. You know, because.
But what about Wale?
Well,
he incorporates all the time.
Well, you got to look at like with Wale, and shout out to Wale, incredible artist, incredible lyricist. But when he first came out, it was so much stigma attached to his name about where he from. Is he from this hood? Is he from there? And we didn't back him as we probably should have, because at that particular time in life, you got to understand, like, this city wasn't known for no superstar rapper that was doing go-go.
It wasn't cool back then.
It wasn't. And so, but it was cool in the hoods though. So you had like a Cool Mind Records, Oi Boys, Young Farmers, you know, Chocolate City Records, you know, things like that, the way I grew up on, where we were making statement music. It wasn't music necessarily for the masses. It was really for the street audience.
It was for us.
You know, so even with that, when Wale did something that was so different, and shout out to Tone P, because Best Kept Secret, that particular group making beats, I've personally have gotten a lot of beats from Tone P.
He got a hell of a legacy in this city. We don't talk about Tone P enough, but for sure, don't. Like, and Tone is special.
He's always looking out as far as trying to help and create the sound. Even to this day, with the last thing I seen with him was the Carry Out, because me and him had spoken, I want to say maybe a year or so ago, because he was trying to help me do some things. But yeah, like with Wale, it just wasn't a respect thing. And so at that particular time, like if he had came out of Southeast and did what he did at that time, he would have been much bigger in the city. It took us.
You think it's because you're from Mo County?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you rep in Mo County, but everybody, and that's the confusion part, because even though it's Mo County, it's right on the borderline of the district. So if you go out of town,
it's all the same now, but it wasn't then.
If you go out of town and people were like, where you from? Yeah, I'm from DC. I'm not about to say, oh yeah, I'm from Mo County or I'm PG.
And honestly, when you go out of town, most people don't even know what that is. Like if you say Maryland, people think Baltimore, right? If you say DC, then that's like kind of a centered thing. If you say Virginia, then people think like University of Virginia level culture, right? People don't even think about like Alexandria or Alton. So I mean, it matters.
Yeah, I think, and that's the whole thing with like Wale. Like I think he's incredible as far as what he does. Because I actually watched y'all last show as far as the big three, and honestly, I never even thought like Cole and Kendrick and Drake big three. It was like at the time Drake, Big Sean, and Wale at that particular
I think
time.
there was a point in time where there could be an argument made for that. That's an interesting, as far as like the numbers, the success. Like there was a time when Big Sean was smoking them niggas. Like we forget about that. But I'm glad that you mentioned that. Like Sean controlled the radio for an extreme period of time.
Exactly.
Even when I said like, because I said that last show, like I became a Cole fan after seeing him at OVO Fest 2016 because the 2014 Coral Hills Drive album toured through OVO Fest that year. And I remember like I went to see Big Sean. Everybody made fun of me when I said that, but I went to see Sean because he really had the grip on like at popular Black music at that point in time.
Before you jump on that, you know, as far as that particular subject, I do want to make sure I get back to the go-go sound as far as being here. If we had more immediate direction as far as involving the kids, like one thing I do love what I'm seeing now out of the go-go community, like Drama Squad, they just was at my son and my niece's school a few days ago.
Okay.
You know, so and the kids loved it. They absolutely went ape shit playing. So, you know, and Drama Squad, like that's my family right there.
Where they go start it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So DMV Hood News just posted that because I reposted that this week. Yeah.
So it was amazing, you know, and funny thing, my kids, as far as my son and my niece, they loved it, but they like, man, we hear this all the time. You know, we hear like we know that band, but they get tired of it sometimes because, like for me, I'm always constantly playing myself or playing drama or whatever
raising them kids, right?
that I'm doing. You know, so for them it's like, all right, well, yeah, I heard it, it's cool, but I do love what I see. And I saw actually shooters from ABM doing something with the kids out Bethesda, you know, getting them involved and stuff like that. So I think it's more so of we have to actually do more for the kids to get them involved. We can't keep saying go-go is dying, go-go is this, go-go is that, when we're not doing anything for it, or whoever, I guess the quote unquote gatekeepers are, allow go-go's to emulate in some form of fashion for kids like how we used to have. That's what made me fall in love with go-go. I was able to go at 15, 14 because it was all age groups.
Had the Mad Chef back then.
That was a rite of passage back then.
CFE, Neon.
Like, right now,
Thai seafood,
right now they
on the waterfront.
The reason why they don't care because they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think we're rebuilding that. Like I do, that's one thing I'm super proud of as far as like where we're rebuilding in the DMV, right? Because I could say that about the rap scene for a portion of time too. I felt like there was like an elitist level attitude towards rapping. So it was like, we're focusing on these 5 people and all the other music coming out of the city, like is not getting the same acknowledgement. But I think now because like the platform is in your hand and because you don't need these gatekeepers the way that you once did, this is in fact the time to sort of like be able to reinvent and to reinvigorate those parts of the culture. So if ever there was a time to reintroduce these kids to go-go, if ever there was a time to like show these kids like the path as far as like what you can do with rap, all the things you can do with that level of content, I think it's now.
And there's a couple bands out here like myself, our band, there's a couple other bands, Strictly Business, where they give the rappers the opportunity to rap on stage with the band. Because a lot of times, you know, a rapper from this area, they don't have that clout where if they do a show by themselves, they're gonna have numbers come in just on the strength of them. But what we do is we'll allow, like, okay, you're a rapper, come on up, because I am a rapper. I'm an MC for real. So I honestly get what they do need and what they would actually want to have happen, because who wouldn't want to have a band behind playing a song? Like, that's dope.
For sure.
That's dope. It makes
My
you
first
feel
show at the
like you're in a
Fillmore.
concert.
That's what we did. First show at the Fillmore, I had a full band. Yeah, because I believe in that. I'm from an area that is rooted in live instrumentation.
Right.
So for me to do a show at the Fillmore and not have one, to me would have been like oppositional to the way that I was raised.
The only thing I would say with the youngins coming up, man, make better music. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, if I hear one youngin when he rapping, I done listen to like 40 or 50 of the same person.
That's the crazy
in one person.
I think we getting back to a place of like specialness though. Yeah. Like, I think it's happening now. It's happening in real time. But I think up until now, that would have been 100% accurate, where like all of the music sounded the same, especially all of the music that appeared to be really popular here. But it really is like these kids that introduce culture, right? Because at one point in time, it was us. And so I think it's important to remember like that what Link is saying is absolute truth. Like, if you feel like these kids need to be focusing on something else, then give them something else to focus on.
Exactly.
But you can't say that like something is dying or that something is not relevant or not as relevant as it once was, and you not provide the opportunity. When we was young, it was honeys everywhere. Everybody wanted to be, was in, or was creating a go-go band. There were specific spaces in which to like hear that music, in which to go enjoy it, to be around this like cultural influence. And you could do that every single week. You never had to worry about like, well, maybe it's this Tuesday, maybe it's not. Like, every week it was a show at the Chef. Every week it was the Battle Royals. Every week it was something at the Neon. Every week it was something at Thai Seafood. Like, you had a consistent place in which to be able to indulge in your culture. Hot shops. Damn, I forgot about that. Man, this nigga old. But like,
don't do me like that.
But that's real as hell though. Like, even I, like, as a person who is like a historian of the music and the culture of this area, even there are parts of that culture that were so huge to us at that time that I have forgotten about. I forgot about the Hot Shop, which was really the first one. I think the Hot Shop died down after Quan, actually. Rest in peace, Quan.
Yeah,
rest in peace, Frank too. Now, but
Frank Nettie, rest in peace, Frank
we done lost so many good ones out here, man. But I really think that that's when we like started to see the shift. Because I remember like once that happened, like my mom was like, nah, and you know my mom wasn't having that.
You know what's crazy? When I went to the Hot Shop, crazy story, real quick. Went to go see Raw Image. That was my favorite band at that particular time. It was Raw Image, Backyard, UCB. Favorite bands, right?
The biggest bands in the city, some might say.
And went to go see Raw Image. They was doing a live DVD for my birthday. And I don't mind sharing this story.
That's a cool ass flex.
Yeah. But
that's a cool ass.
I mean, it wasn't for my birthday. Like, let me.
But it was on your birthday.
Like, it was,
nigga.
All right, we'll say that. Yeah.
I don't care what nobody say. If they doing it when I'm there on my birthday, nigga, that's for me. I don't care what y'all say. That's my shit tonight.
Yeah, I was turning 16. I was turning 16, and this is when you had to stand in that long, stupid ass line
around the corner.
And if anybody know Marlow Heights and know about the High Shop and where it was at, that line was wrapped, right? So
said where the Fuji at for y'all niggas that don't know. In that same little space, two doors down from Fuji Mountain. I think it's a nurse's shop.
It's a nurse's shop now.
You buy your scrubs in there now.
They making it to a crab spot now. Something dealing with.
I'm so sick of y'all in these motherfucking crabs. We're not getting into that.
The seafood,
but let me tell you something. Y'all hoes eat a lot of crab legs and a lot of. When last time you drank some water? When last time you ate some fruit? I'm just saying, consider it, baby girl. That shit comes out your pores. But go ahead. I'm just telling you what these niggas telling me. But go ahead.
That line was so long. I waited probably for like an hour.
That's not
like
right.
I was pressed.
That's not right.
Everybody used to be pressed. They used to hold the line.
Because it was for the kids. It was for the kids. It was clubs for the kids.
But
that's why we so messed up
what wound up happening that night, and my mom, I was supposed to be punished, but I wound up sneaking out. She came to the Hot Shop.
Oh man. Your mom was a pull-up jump. Yeah.
Let me
tell you something. Jason, that's his nigga real name. His mama will pull up.
Yeah.
And then birds and then beat him right in the street. I remember it. Okay.
I tried to get out the house. I thought I was sneaking. She knew exactly where I went because that's where I went.
Yeah, because that's where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Dummy. Like, we don't say birds dumb. Like, we gotta stop that, y'all.
She pulled up, had my name, you know what I'm saying? 6, he called my name over the microphone.
Oh, man.
Embarrassed the hell out of me, man.
Called you over the mic?
Mom called me over the mic 3 times because I wouldn't come up to the front. I was like, hell nah, if I'm going to get punished, I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to go ahead do what I do.
Might as well have fun for the rest of this 5 minutes I got.
But after that, you know, because she tried to go into the club and seen everybody doing the freak, and she saw condoms on the floor. She was like, what's going on in here? And then what really put the icing on the cake for me was they threw tear gas after the joint was over. So everybody had to exit. She was like, they treat y'all like goddamn animals out here. I was like, man, that's what we learn.
I think honestly, that's why like our generation, like 30 to 40, like it's so much smarter because like, no, we understand like very clearly the way police really feel about us.
Right.
We got those lessons very young because we got them in them go-go's.
The last group that knows what it's like to maneuver outside efficiently.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that being born in 92 and 94, 95 is where you kind of start to think about cutting that.
I think 94 is where we could cut it off. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you 31, that's where we gotta cut off the level of intellect. 94 and 95 and on. You niggas be kind of slow. I'm sorry. Like I said it. All right. You put it in the comments, you got a motherfucker problem. Yeah. But real shit. Once we get it, like after 93, this shit is a mess. I'm not gonna hold you. He ain't lying. 93, all this shit is a mess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Snoop album dropped and niggas went crazy, and it ain't been the same since. I'm telling you, after Snoop album dropped, because that's when that thing came out, right? 93, 94.
That's when the dog.
I'm telling you, y'all been dumb ever since. Y'all gotta do better, man. I don't understand it. Like we are maybe the last rational,
but you know what?
Complicit generation,
because we always had something to look forward to. Like we always had levels time too, that we had to reach. Like if you take video games for instance, like even right now, when we played video games back then, like I'm looking at the arcade, and it was so nostalgic, right?
It takes you back. That's why we do it.
It was levels. Like I wanted to compete all night to get to the next level. I didn't have what they got, VCs now, and you know, V-Bucks and stuff that already get you on that level.
But also, I think with that, there was like an alternative of a social life, right? So we really grew up in an era where like you met your friends outside. Like y'all want to know how I met Jason? I'm gonna tell y'all. All right. I'm sorry, Link. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm about to say, come on now with the government.
Whatever. We know I don't acknowledge that shit. But look, I'm gonna tell you how my mama took me outside. She walked me, she held my hand, she took me outside, and it was you, it was Mike, it was Ralph Tinsley, it was Daryl, it was like all of these kids outside, and she was just like, hey, like, can my daughter play with you guys? That was how I met my friends. Like, honestly, like we were of that time. And also like you could sit in your house and play video games, but your friends came over to your house to play with you. It wasn't this digital online thing where like literally I think like it was crazy. Like my ex had not seen his friends 6 months minimum, right? But they're maintaining this friendship through Call of Duty chat rooms. This is how you're maintaining friendships now. And he was 94, so that all tracks. But like legitimately speaking, we had so many levels to a social life. You could go outside, play hide and seek and hide and go get it and all this other shit we shouldn't have been doing as kids. You could have your friends come over to your house, play basketball, play video games. In my case, I had drums and all of that stuff in my basement, so everybody used to come over to my house, play music and hang out. You also had like hot shops and Mad Chef and these places to like go out with your friends on a Friday night, on a Saturday night. And then there was also like even the rec centers had parties and stuff back then. You played on rec leagues. I used to
love going to the rec center on Friday, Saturday night.
That was
teen night was everything.
You just don't have these options anymore. I think that's the difference. So whereas now you're like maintaining a lot of these friendships digitally. You might not see people for months, years, but y'all talk all the time on IG and TikTok. You might not like have physical interaction with these people forever, but you maintain your relationships with these people online. We did not have like the luxury of that, if that's what you want to call it.
If you moved away, chances are
you lost your friends.
Like,
no lie. Like I think my benefit was that I moved right before college. So I moved out of Temple. I've lived in Temple Hills. Like this is where I'm from. I'm from 28th. Jason know like this my hood for sure. And so I moved when I was like 17.
Right.
And so like at that point in time, you have a license now. And so you can come back. Like Jason would tell you, used to come back to Jason's house all the time and just sit in the living room and talk shit.
That's low key. That's how she started rapping.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you already know.
That was a
You know what I'm
different
saying?
time.
I had to get it.
I did not know that.
That was a different time, man. It was a different time.
So
Yeah,
she used to,
Jason got me started.
Look, she used to come over and cook
give it
one
to
nigga in specifically all the time.
Shout out to you, Rico.
That's
No,
okay.
we're not shouting that nigga out. Fuck
Punk
that
ass nigga. We still don't like you.
But hey, look, when I tell you, we had so many good times just chilling,
just sitting around,
sitting
on Jason's porch.
Yeah, we was just sitting on the porch cooling.
You remember how Rico came over there to get you after he got beat up?
Yeah, we had to go take care of stuff because you
know what's crazy about that story? I'm gonna tell this story, and then we're gonna get into the real show. I would never forget this nigga Rico got jumped, beat up, and ran to Jason's house for help. Jason went back to the spot where he got beat up with Rico to see what was going on. Rico ran and left him there and let Jason get jumped after he got out of the situation.
Yeah. I'm coming to help.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
when we talk about niggas not being shit, niggas being soft, listen, we didn't see it all.
That's insane.
Jason went up there to help him after Rico got jumped, and Rico ran. And you know what's crazy? Rico ran back to Jason's house and told his mother, "Oh, Jason getting jumped." You know what Jason's mother said?
Nigga,
well,
why ain't you here?
I would never forget that. This is 20 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. Jason's mother said, "Well, then why are you here?"
Yeah,
man.
He had no answer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Got jumped, took his man up there to handle his business and left him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you know what's so crazy about that though?
Lord,
a lot of people growing up with, they always used to ask me, "Why are you hanging out with this nigga? Like, he goofy." But I was at the time, she was the main one. But you know,
I be telling y'all, even to this day, all my friends know if I tell you somebody not shit, you need to listen to me. I ain't been wrong yet.
It was more so of like, you know, just I always had a great heart, even at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So it was looking at it like, let me help this person. But after that, it was just like, all right, I got to distance myself because I could have died. I could have died at
empathy
16. You know what I'm saying? I could have literally
get
died.
You killed quicker than empathy.
You be trying to help these niggas, but you know what? That's one thing my mother gave me real early was discernment. Like early in life, I have always had discernment. Now, granted, I have not always applied that to my own life. So you take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm somebody who like is great at giving advice. I'm not always great at taking my own. I admit that. I'm working on that. Truly, I'm working on that. God is working on me. There are already improvements in that area. But I am usually not wrong about people. My discernment picks up things pretty quickly. And don't get me wrong, I've been wrong before, but I would say that it's rare. If I tell you like you need to watch out for them, you need to listen to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I ain't been wrong. Like,
nah, you ain't been wrong.
And you need to be careful because like the people you surround yourself with change the trajectory of your entire life.
Yeah.
Right. If you have friends who are motivated, who want to go to school, who want to get a trade, who want to be focused, who want to accomplish things, you tend to be a person who moves in that direction because you feel a way about yourself when you're behind everybody else. It's like natural motivation. They don't have to say a word to you. They don't have to put you down. They don't have to make you feel bad. They don't have to throw in your face. All they have to do is achieve. Right. But when everybody around you is achieving and you're not, it will make you feel away. And that sometimes will get you off your shoulders. So I truly believe in like the necessity of keeping good people around you, of like not burning bridges unless absolutely necessary. And I believe in burning the bridge. I'm not gonna lie. I'll burn that bitch just to show you. But like I think that there are some bridges that should be burned so that you don't cross them again.
Need to be burned.
I think so that you don't cross them again. Honestly, like there are some bridges that I've burned simply because I knew that if I didn't, I would be tempted to cross that bridge again.
But then also too is some bridges that, you know, you may want to really burn them, but like for me, you got to use it now to your advantage, depending on what the situation is. Because if it's good business at the end of the day, it's good business. Because now I know the person that you are, so now I can maneuver in a way where I can still do business, but I don't need to be all
more
friendly and
for business.
Yeah,
personal is a different nuance to it, because personal is more like that's my peace of mind. Now, but it's like I feel like, to your point, like I'm willing to exercise the discretion more in the business side. Personal is starting to become a different thing that I prioritize, like preservation in a sense. because, and then this kind of feeds into what I was mentioning in my introduction, because it's like sometimes we think that doing that in that business space is cool until it flows over. The frustration sometimes of dealing with something that's not, that in your heart of hearts is just like, this shit throw me off.
This isn't good for me.
And like I said, it's cool. Sometimes, to your point, if the business is sensible enough, yeah, I'm a thug it out. But if it's on, like, if we're talking about maintaining relationships and bridges, boundaries in a personal side, it's more of those things where I'm a little more rigid with that, honestly, because it's like you're not gonna compromise my sense of peace. Just
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
It's too valuable. It's like one of the few things you can't buy. So like letting people, especially in a personal sense, because I agree. Like I think in business, like you'll let things rock because you're getting something out of it, right?
Exactly.
This is a mutually beneficial situation. And I am a proponent of, if there is mutual beneficial nature in that situation, then maybe you got to pull back a little bit. Yeah. But that's the thing. It needs to be mutually beneficial in order for that to be true and for that to be relevant. But I think a lot of people hold on to bad business, bad personal relationships, and you're not even getting anything out of it.
Right.
Like, what are you accomplishing by keeping these terrible people around you, by letting them take 3 years, 5 years, 10 years off your life, 10 years off your purpose, off your process, off your program? It's dangerous. And I think like Lincoln is a person who can absolutely tell you, like, no, keeping the wrong people around you, it delays your purpose. It is necessary for you to move forward, not just in who you are as a person, but in your business, and to acknowledge as early as possible who is moving things forward, who is creating progress, and who's holding you up.
Well, I could say, you know, from my experience in that, because you're absolutely right. You know, certain things that I may have thought I should have been moving a lot faster because of the people I had around. But then the older I got, I had to actually realize, like, okay, you know what? We were all young at that time.
That's real.
No one knew. Like, we all going through the same mistakes, because it's gems that, you know, at the time, Hattie, when we were doing our Cool Mind Records thing, he would tell me a lot as far as, you know, it's a certain way you got to carry yourself, certain way you got to dress, certain way you got to do certain things. And, you know, now because I am having my own structure built with the people that I have in my band, I get that now. You know, I get certain things, because you are an entertainer. You have to be on time. You got to dress the part. You got to, you know, talk a certain way.
You don't have to be on time.
So,
hear me.
Well, I was on time today. I was on time
last week. I ain't gonna do this shit every week. Come on now.
But with that, the older you get, you start realizing, like, okay, it might not have worked then, but it did teach me something, because now I'm doing my own thing. So
I agree with that.
I can't just diminish what happened, because it was a lot of good times. It was a lot of friendships that were built. It was a lot of connections and opportunities that I still have to this day. Like Jamal, you know, when I walked in, I was like, man, you got a familiar face. I'm like, I don't know where I know you from. He was saying the same thing. And I'm like, how do I know you? You know, and then once he said Capital Magazine, I'm like, that's where it's from, because we were doing business all the way back in 2008. You know, so it's like
high school.
You know, I wouldn't have had certain experiences. I wouldn't have had certain experiences, certain stories to even tell if I didn't go through all of that. I may not have made it to the platform where I wanted to at that time, but I'm comfortable where I made it to a platform where I'm respected as one of the best MCs in the city from my generation, you know.
Without question.
You know, so it's when I see certain people, they know me for rapping, they know me for making songs and actually making bangers. I got a lot of bangers. So yeah, check that out on YouTube, heavy. Cool Mind Records. But you know, so got a lot of them. And I met a lot of great people. So I can only share my experience on that. And, you know, I never would diminish where I came from. Like, that's just what I went through. So I love it. I love where I'm at now.
And I think too, like, something I say often that I think is very important is, like, rejections are protections. So like it is easy to lament over.
I need to hear that one again.
I'm telling you, rejection is protection. It's very easy to lament over what you lost, over what didn't happen. If I had done this differently 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, how would it have changed the course of my life? But I say all the time, like, you know, there are people who've gotten everything and still have nothing. And so I think it's very easy to put yourself in a space where like you like complain over what you have not yet accomplished, or what you thought you would have accomplished by this point in your life, or what you could have done if you had changed these things 5 years ago, 10 years ago. But the reality is like you have no idea what God was protecting you from. And I think for me specifically, if I had gotten everything I wanted, I would have been the worst version of myself.
Yeah,
I think I truly think that. So I think like God was protecting me until he knew I was ready to like move me into a different space. And I think that's the truth with a lot of people. I think like you get everything and still don't have anything because you're not happy with any of it. You're not content with any of it, or because of what you had to sacrifice to get there. You weren't necessarily in a place spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically where you could have handled that. And I think Joe Budden said something about that recently. Like a lot of the reason why people don't survive the industry is because their nervous systems do not survive. Right, you are so stressed, so nervous, so scared.
There's no sense,
like constantly worried about what is next, because that's the nature of the industry, right? That's why Drake hasn't dropped that terrible album yet. It's because
it's gonna be terrible.
I do think it's gonna be terrible. I think if we can look at any of the leaks and make a determination, I think all the leaks have been awful. I think he's still flowing, but all the music is really bad.
You know, I don't think it's gonna be a terrible album.
Maybe it won't be terrible, but I don't think it's gonna be all that good.
If he got the leaks, I'm sure the team that he has is seeing the responses and let's recook something up. That way it doesn't be terrible, because whatever he drops,
that's real.
At that point, it has to be.
It's gonna go number one no matter what. And Ty said that last week, right?
Like it has to be amazing.
I don't think that's the fear anymore. Like we know he drops something, it's gonna go number one.
The numbers ain't the issue.
I think it's the impact. Exactly, it's quality of the work and its impact. Right? These albums do not last if you're not really, really good.
Well,
these albums don't last the same anymore, and that's for any artist across the board. That's not just Drake.
But that's only because of the attention span of people.
That's true.
You know, with every like. I could make a song. You can make a song. You can make a song right now. That'll be our focal point. It wouldn't be Drake, even if he did drop. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give it a listen. I might listen to it one time while I'm riding. I got my opinion, but you know what? Something else just dropped.
That's real. Music comes out so fast now. Yeah, and you used to have to wait years for albums.
Yeah, and then also because we have so much access to music through Spotify. What is that? Apple Music.
You used to hit Same Goody back in the day.
Yeah, you just got. It's like Netflix and all that, where it's just so many options. It's like, okay, what do I want to listen to?
Now, facts. And it does make it harder.
Yeah, so
it makes it harder. Like it makes it harder on me because I'm a person that still likes albums, right? I say that all the time. I still love an album. I still want to listen to a body of work.
I like a concept album.
Like, I love a concept album. But even if it does not have concept, like Summer Walker's new album is a concept album. I just listened to it in full while I was on vacation a couple weeks ago, and I think it's fantastic. But like. Conversely, I really didn't. After sitting with Cole's album for like a couple of weeks, I don't love it. I think like he's flowing better than ever, but I wasn't really like into the music.
So let me ask you.
I didn't love the production on the fall off.
Is it something that's already in you because of what he did?
Nah, not at all.
Taking out the rap battle.
I actually think that he made the right decision, and I know that there are a lot of people that don't.
I
think a lot of people that don't agree with that, but I absolutely think that J. Cole did the right thing, because look at where it went. Like this is not a rap battle. This is like David versus Goliath. This is David versus the machine behind Goliath too. And I think that like there's just for me now, this is just my opinion. But I think like in a battle where niggas are talking about like pedophilia and like
real jabs,
like no, he said it like I hate this guy, right? So this battle is bigger than just like me versus a rapper. Personal. This is against somebody that I hate, somebody I aim to destroy. I think when you see it go there, where it's not about the music anymore, because I think like we could say that about this T.I 50 Cent thing. I feel like I love T.I. I have said that on countless shows. I said that on a show with Uptown XO. Shout out to him. That T.I is still in my top 5. I love T.I.
Really?
Came up still in my top 5 to this moment. I just think like
quality,
his pedigree as a rapper. His pedigree is above all. And I think he's shown that. Like, look at Damani's diss record against Curtis, like talking to his mother.
Listen.
You gotta come from a certain pedigree from your father to be good.
All I'm gonna say
the money smoked that shit.
All I'm gonna say is they better stop playing with 50.
Listen,
they better stop playing with 50.
Listen,
50, he's one of those people that he's not gonna stop.
What 50
he's
say?
He's not gonna stop.
I don't got no problem, but if you got a problem, we got a problem.
Like, they better stop playing with 50.
Listen, I do not disagree with you at all. I think for me, right, 50 is the last person I would try because he's going to
he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it through music.
Exactly.
But I think like
he's going to do it
when you talk about rappers, right? Because we hoping that niggas keep this on wax. I don't like the situation between T.I. and 50. If I'm being real, I think that like. You get to a certain age, right? Because that's a relevant factor in this battle too. Like you got two niggas who 50 years old. Like I think that like, and 50 is much older than that. So I think T.I. is about
50. About 50.
He about 50?
Yeah,
okay.
I think he's 50.
So you got two rappers about 50 years old. Yeah. Like where it's going, talking about niggas' wives and niggas' moms. Like I think it's already gone too far if you asking me. Absolutely. But if we're just talking about the quality of the music, the Harris family won, like hands down. And I don't think that like 50 is a good enough, if we just being honest, I don't think 50 is a good enough rapper to go against T.I. And apparently I don't know if he's good enough to go against the money. I don't know.
Listen.
Because the money smoked that motherfucker.
I'm gonna say this. I don't know. You gotta
shout out to Monty. Come on the show, baby.
Really listen to 50.
Now 50 like that.
Really gotta listen. 50
what 50 album have you loved since the first one?
Which one I love since?
Have you loved the 50 album since Many Men?
You know what? No, he got what was the joint?
It is
with the 187. The 187 on flight 187. 187. I forgot the name of the mixtape. I think it was Ambition or something like that.
Did that come out after the album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was.
So that was like right when the movie dropped.
Yeah, somewhere along those lines. Like, but 50, he always been a good songwriter.
For sure.
You know, as far as battle rapping, lyricism.
I don't think it's for him.
He's not going to be on T.I.
He a battle tested nigga.
Right.
He not a nigga I would play with.
Yeah.
But as a rapper, if we doing what we're supposed to do, and keeping this thing on wax, I think the Harris family.
But okay, so even
look at this. Look at this. Niggas coming here breaking stuff.
Clip. Nah, that's my shit.
Niggas coming here. I don't care if you break your own shit. Don't break nothing.
I'm breaking my own shit. Breaking my own shit. It ain't break though. But so if it was a versus though, if they really did have a versus, who would you go with?
T.I., no question.
T.I.
Okay. T.I. more consistent. Okay. Across the board.
If I'm T.I., I'm coming out to motivation.
They do 20 songs, right?
You could look me in my eye and say I'm ready for whatever. Anything don't kill me, make me better. I'm coming out to motivation, and then I'm playing ASAP right after it. And then I'm playing what's happening right after that.
They got some dope songs a piece.
T.I. catalog is crazy.
Yeah, but okay, just on the strength, 50 catalog is crazy. This is off of 2 albums.
Is it?
Catalog is crazy.
I mean, I would venture to say 50 is one of the few artists, maybe in rap history, to have an album where every song is good on the first 2 albums.
That's what I'm saying.
I think but you could say that about T.I. for the first 5.
No, you can't.
Really?
No, you can't.
So, everything like after
trap music. I
would say
how many songs you know in trap music?
Maybe like 3.
Exactly.
Now, but that's now. You talking about an album that came out almost 30 years ago, like, and I still remember word for word like 3 or 4 songs. But every album after trap music, every album from 24's on, I know every song on them albums.
Hey.
Every song on them album from 24 on goes crazy because T.I. really
versus T.I. But
T.I. was like that.
You tripping? Mid. That was mid in my opinion.
I know you ain't wrong. That's what I'm talking about. T.I. talking to your ass when he said that.
That was mid. You
tripping? T.I. versus T.I.P. was great.
That was mid.
Nah, see you sound like the critics of the time. See, that's what you niggas do. You look at the time. You let the critics of the time influence you forever. No, T.I. versus T.I.P. is a good album.
I didn't say it was a bad album.
No. I said it was. I'm saying it's good. You said
it's not his best album.
So on the scale of like high quality mid to low end mid.
Yeah, what are we talking?
Because if you say
if you say low quality mid, get the fuck off my show.
And now what I will say is low quality mid. Nah. You know, I got hey, look, this how we used to fight when we was young.
People will say it's mid. People will say it's mid, but then they be like, "That's not me shitting on it." And then because sometimes they'll be like,
and I said that last week.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not me shitting on it. You know what I mean? But that's just me saying that it's not all of what I prefer.
10. What are we talking about?
Scale of 1 to 10. I would give it a 5.
Damn.
I would give it a 5. I mean, out of his body,
out of
his
average.
body.
Okay,
of
so you're
work,
talking about based off of
Out
his
of the
own
body of work.
standard.
off his body of work.
Okay.
Like, but and during that time, because that was what, like 07, if I'm not mistaken,
give or take. Yeah.
07,
Right before he went to jail, the first time.
The first time.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing people forget. T.I. was really out here.
Yeah.
And T.I. wasn't just out here like with an artillery in the trunk that he was going to jail for, which he did, which is how the Crime Stoppers thing came up. It was go to jail for 100 guns, or it was do the Crime Stoppers thing. So whatever.
I mean, who wouldn't do the Crime Stoppers?
I'm gonna do the Crime Stoppers thing personally. I know how y'all niggas feel about snitching,
MTV special about it.
Like, listen, but I really feel like T.I.'s body of work is, I don't want to say impenetrable, but it's strong. It's super strong, which is why I think T.I. wins a versus. Because I think like T.I. has at least 5 or 6 really good albums, in my opinion. And when you're talking about a versus, you're talking about a curation, right? So you're not going to get to play all the songs from these albums. You only playing the hits. I think T.I. got more hits than 50. I'm going to say it.
Well, yeah, because he has more workout than 50.
Yeah, true. He got more workout.
He will have more hits, you know, because once after Curtis came out, you know, 50 did take that dip, you know, with him and Kanye, but
he started to focus on other things just out of his own choice.
I think he started to focus on his other artists too.
Yeah,
that it was like more genuine.
His other mixtapes though that were underground. That's where like 187 came in, because that song is dope. That shit is dope. Then he had the.
You don't even remember the name of the mixtape though.
No, I don't. I don't. But he had the other classics.
How good was it?
Like I'm the Man. You know, not the one with Chris Brown, but the original I'm the Man. That is my favorite song, period.
Right.
That's every time I hear it, just make me feel like, yeah, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? So he got his hits too. I think T.I. just got more stadium like records to where they're gonna pop for people more. But 50 got that too, though. You know, you can't deny. You can't.
I mean, clearly, because 50 had played the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, that was up for debate. But
I mean, I think the Upside Down was really what ruined it for everyone.
Yeah.
I think, and he was so fat at that point. Yeah, like you
looked like me on there.
Yeah, like honestly, he did. Like he looked like you in the 50 tank top. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it was. I think that wasn't a good look. I mean, I get the nostalgia of it and why he did it, but I think generally speaking, like that did hurt the overall performance if we just talking about the aesthetic of it. Yeah. But I mean, it's still 50 in the club, and it still goes nuts.
Right.
So I mean, I don't get me wrong. I think 50. Please don't think I'm picking no fight with 50. He the last nigga.
Don't let 50 see this.
He the last nigga. I love 50. All right, I'm the only nigga I know still watching power shows. So I mean, I love 50. I love honestly, I like the bully in him. Like, I think it's funny. I think it's cute. I think it's entertaining.
Hilarious.
It's hilarious. But when you're talking about like a battle against a rapper like T.I., no, like we've heard. Like, look at the material. We've heard what's coming out of that camp. 50 might like do a bunch of memes and a bunch of posts. He might even allude to this in one of them TV shows, if you're being honest.
That's what I was about to say.
Being able to come out with a song that's better than what T.I.'s put out in these last 2 records, or what Damani, I don't think 50 got nothing for this battle. Better than Damani. Damani's record is crazy.
Yeah,
I heard a clip of it actually.
It's crazy. I'm gonna play it for you after the show. It's crazy.
If for nothing else, for the sake of it being a diss record and the visuals that he chose for it,
it's giving me the
you could definitely like to her point about you peeping game from who your main point of study is. You can tell like I said, and then on top of that, this isn't the first time that T.I.'s gotten into a back and forth with another rapper. Because
you can't count Lil Flip though.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got count Ludacris.
I was about to say there's that one too.
And Ludacris smoked his ass.
I don't want to say smoke,
he
but
smoked his ass.
Motherfucker, I'm a monster in this game.
But Ludacris is not nobody to be played with, period, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Luda's a battle rapper though.
Like, and people like Ludacris is like a more modernized version of LL in terms of but peep this.
Actually
peep it though, because it's like if you grew up in that first 4 or 5 albums for Luda, like up to Release Therapy, right before he cut the braids on, he first got his Grammy, everything slapped. But then bro got really fortunate, broke with Fast and Furious, Crash, Hustle and Flow. All them Jones came out around the same time. He saw the bag in that. He was like,
now he's an actor.
And it's like, and it's cool. And
that's Christopher Bridges now. That's not Ludacris.
But I also appreciate how, again, recently artists like him have made it a point to be like, yeah, I can't get me fucked up and say that I don't still have it.
Right.
Because I just choose not to do this.
I think that's what T.I. is proving to me right now.
And then even to the point about where 50 is in terms of how he responds, I feel like 50 is on the other end of, I don't gotta prove this shit, nor do I feel the need to try to go back and that's why it's like, it seems a little lopsided to call it like a full-on thing. And it's not even because of the effort or the quality from what T.I. and them is doing. It's just that for 50, he look at this shit and he already more or less was just like, all right, yo, you basically gonna be yelling into the void while I'm over here doing whatever it was that I was doing before you chose to be mad at me.
That's real.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
And it's like, that's the other reason why it's like, and then it's cool, but
do you really want to see 50 battle T.I., son?
I'm not gonna lie. I think it's already gone too far. I think it's already too much. I like the music that's come out of it. Cause again, like if y'all have not heard that Damani record to 50, it's crazy. You need to make sure you need to make sure you play
very
that.
disrespectful.
It's
very disrespectful.
Damani is talented.
I'm about to say it must be way better than King Combs joint.
I'm about to leave. Like, we're not talking about them niggas up here. Niggas always. Fuck y'all. Like, oh fuck. Get the fuck out of here, cornball ass niggas. Like, we're not doing that with them niggas.
Man, that's crazy.
We're not doing it. Like, we not on, like, come on, man. We not. Ain't no battle with them niggas, man. Because you gotta be able to rap to be in a battle. Like, you know what that is? King Combs versus anybody is T.I. versus Lil Flip, and we see what happened. Yeah. It's the same quality. Like, we used to like Lil Flip a lot too. It's not like it's like no good music coming out of that camp. You're just not equipped for this level of competition. Yeah. You're not good enough for this level of competition. You might be able to go to the rec center and hoop, but that doesn't mean you can make it in Watts. And just because you can make it in Watts does not mean you can make it in the NBA. There are levels to these things. And that doesn't mean that any of them hoopers are not valuable hoopers, that they not good, that they not worth conversation. But there are levels to these things. There's a reason why there's the NBA and then there's the G League.
Yep.
So like that, like putting the Combs boys in the, come on, man. Like, them not real rappers.
Nah.
That might be, I've heard a couple of decent songs from King Combs. That joint he did with Kodak Black was fire to me. But like when you talk about battles, come on. It's like
I don't follow.
I think 50 could still beat them with ease, but I don't got 50 beating Damani. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Fifth said,
I think Damani
50 don't really rap anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Fifth said them media checks hit a little different. You stop giving the fuck.
They ain't rapping no more neither.
Fuck no.
I want to see power. Matter of fact, 50 don't rap, all right? Because we need this new season of Origins gotta smoke. All right. You need to be focused on how you're gonna fix BMF or what you're gonna replace that with. All right. We got to get on the Tommy and Tariq show immediately. Now that Tommy is over.
You know they got the tape version coming out too.
No, they said they wasn't doing that.
Oh, they're not doing that?
No, they're not doing it. They were talking about that because they were also, what they are talking about is because I heard Courtney Kemp talking about this, right? Who's the real creator of all of this, and like the writer behind all of this. Courtney Kemp was saying they wanted to do a tape show, but like nobody at the network really got it, and so they kind of canceled that. But they are gonna do a spinoff to Juke though.
Really?
Yes, that's what I heard. Because we're on the last season of Kanan right now, so we've gotten a significant amount of, I think, Juke's backstory, and like it's deep with her, right? And then, but that transition from like leaving the military to like whatever happened until she became like a dirty cop, like I think that gap is going to be very interesting. So I know that their focus is to try to do a spinoff of Juke. They want to do a Tommy and Tariq show. The Origin joint is coming back. So
do you think it's too much of a power universe?
Nah, I love the power universe. I watch all of that shit. Now, I don't think all of it's on the same level, right? When we talk about levels, right? So, like, when we talk about the Power universe, right? I think the original Power is always the best. I think because there's just no replacing Omari Hardwick. And I know he had some stuff with 52. But I would like for Omari to come back. I think it would be fantastic because the most sensible thing is for Omari to narrate the Origin show. With Tom, there's no like you could let Tommy narrate, but when you're talking about like the ability to speak, like in real life, Omari Hardwick is a spoken word artist. He's a rapper. He's a musician. He has like a certain tone, a certain inflection. So I think the natural next best step would be for Omari to narrate Origins. But I think that beef that they have, I think is going to prevent that. And 50 is a petty nigga, and he hold on to it.
Yeah, they still beefing.
I don't know if 50 would call that a beef, but I think like 50 is one of those people. And I think Joe Budden said something about this recently that I thought was very interesting. He talked about like, for you to be as big of a bully as 50 Cent is, you would have to be very sensitive naturally.
Of course.
And so, right, because
it's a natural
that
defense
is
mechanism.
the reality. Most bullies are very sensitive people. That's the reason why they react that way. That's the reason why they go above and beyond, because a bully is naturally a more sensitive person. So I think like those things that Omari said about 50, especially considering that the pay rate is not determined by 50, it's determined by the network. Right. And 50 was still making sure that you were taken care of in that time. And then for you to talk about him as though he owed you money when he was the one keeping you afloat is crazy to me. So I think for that reason, I think 50 is done with that.
Yeah, that's probably the same.
And I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that niggas could piece it up and get it resolved.
Same reason with Young Buck.
Yeah,
I seen a live with Young Buck not too long ago, a couple days ago, where he was like, I don't know if I'm still in G Unit or not.
Yeah, I think like, 50 just not one of them.
Like, you ain't made a song with G Unit in how many years? You're not a
Lloyd was talking about 50 a little earlier this year too. 50 whole thing is like niggas did like one album, two. But you know what? I would say this. That's the same thing that Diddy used to say about the artist at Bad Boy, right? That's what he used to say about Mace. Why I owe Mace money? Mace had one album.
Well, actually, but see, you gotta understand. See, where Mace was coming from, Mace was writing everything.
Facts, as well, like, locks.
Mace, I just found out not too long ago, Mace wrote the Jay-Z joint, I Just Wanna Love You.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that. So when I heard that, I'm like, man, that's crazy. Mace.
The crazy thing is,
Mace might be the greatest rapper alive.
Once you hear the niggas that wrote these records, you can hear them, right? Because Dr. Dre has never written anything, right? But you can hear everybody he had around him. You can hear Snoop on the Chronic. You can hear Jay on the Chronic too. Like you can hear Kendrick on Compton.
So how do y'all feel about that? Because that's a known ghostwritten song,
right?
These are ghostwritten albums. And he let it be known. Like, so back to the point with Drake, right?
Still talking about this nigga.
No. I'm just saying, when that hype came out as far as, okay, you're a ghostwriter, whatever, woo-de-woo. At the end of the day, you're in the business of making music.
For sure.
So it's about making entertaining music, which he did, where you can't be upset that he had a ghostwriter. I mean, people look at it as far as battle rap or whatever, but he can actually rap. It's just that I'm in the business of making money.
Talking about Drake.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the business of making money. I'm not in the business. I don't even, my pen could be really nice, but everybody got their team. Like if we all sitting here together and we make a song and you put it out because you deliver it the best, we just came up with a song.
I'm not mad at it. Like I think for me, the reason why Drake gets the most flack is because like when you look at a J writing still DRE or writing if it was up to me, you motherfuckers would stop coming up to me with your hands out looking up to me like you want something free. When my last CD was out, you weren't pumping me. So I think like when you look at like the nature of the men behind the music, Drake just doesn't have any respect from any, I think, legitimate sources in music anymore. I think like to me, there's no question that no matter who wrote those records, that's the person that needed to deliver them. And I think for me, there's no question that Drake has a pen. He's written for multiple artists. Those artists would admit that, right? Has given hits to artists who may never have had one otherwise. So I think him as a musician, it is what it is, no matter how you feel about him personally. But we are, in fact, in an era. He is a product of the era where who you are as a person, it makes a difference. And I think because Drake is soft, I think because he is corny, because he is weird, and like he leaned into all of these things, right? But I think he lost himself somewhere in the middle. This is why I say you get everything and have nothing. Because I think like Drake is, to me, like, would you trade with all that he has accomplished, with all that he has, would you trade lives with Drake?
No,
exactly.
That's
my point.
Because I don't want to be anybody else.
That's what I mean. Yeah, genuinely. But like, there are people who like, man, if I could be in Drake's shoes for a week, like, nah, I don't even want a week in this nigga. Like, there's no situation in which I would trade lives with that person.
So, do you think he lost himself after he got off of Young Money?
Nah, I think like
before that.
I think it happened way before that. I think it might have been, if we've been honest, Young Money might have been the cause of that. Because if you look at all of the people on, do any of them seem like they know themselves? Like Wayne, do you think Wayne seems like a rational, like mid-tempered, normal person? And I mean, that's kind of Wayne's shtick. Wayne's shtick is that he's not normal, right? He's an alien. But at the same time, it's like, he's been like, this is a nigga who like was advocating for the Republican Party. This is a nigga who was advocating for the police, that Black Lives Matter shit is stupid. Like, so he's been lost, right? And then you have Nicki. We ain't getting into that. I ain't giving that bitch no burn. But you would fuck the barbs and fuck all of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, right? Because we see what's going on with her. And now you have Drake who was like still floating along, right? Separate from these two other weirdos. And it's like now, like, you have all the money in the world, but like, who do you have to really share it with other than a bunch of men who need you for money? And you have a child, but like your ideal was what Rihanna has now with ASAP. And I know that's got to make you feel something, right? He has made music about that, right? How many songs has he made about ASAP Rocky, who we could barely consider a rapper? So like,
you barely consider ASAP a rapper?
I mean, I think ASAP's very talented, but I think when you talk about what a person's focus is, right? We're not talking about how, like,
not your general ability,
right? We're not talking about your ability. We're talking about how you identify yourself, right? And ASAP is really more like fashion forward than anything else. I would consider ASAP, he's still a musician, no question, but that's not his focus, right? ASAP puts out music just because he likes putting out music. It's not because he has to. There are rappers still putting out albums because they have to, because you don't know them for anything else. They don't have a persona that exists outside of music. If ASAP never puts out another album, he's still ASAP Rocky.
But
if Drake never puts out an album, he's still Drake. But I think like the disparity between like who I am as a man, what my goals were for myself, and like how this battle affected me, how it affected how I see myself, how it affected how this community that I have given my life to now sees me. I think he lost.
Oh yeah, he definitely lost.
I think like he gave everything he had to rap music. And maybe he's soft and all of this other stuff that people say, but he gave everything that he had to it.
Because you look at,
and it's gotta hurt that people don't respect you anymore.
But it's about how,
even if you got all these white kids still listen,
it's about how you treat your peers and your contemporaries when you in them spaces.
No question.
And it's like,
and a nigga like that didn't know how to act.
There's
an overwhelming, because he's not a product of the environment.
And there's an overwhelming rap sheet of people from different parts and angles of the industry. And that's the other thing too, where it's just like, it'd be different if it was just from just the rappers or just the singers. It's like, nah, execs, rappers,
the audience,
the whole audience, like the people that you giving your stuff to. After a while, if there's enough evidence, enough testimony compiled in that space, then that's going to be the verdict on you. And then the only way that you could really flip it is if you are willing to take that step of accountability. But which he does not have. I was about to say, but and the thing for him is, because of how much success he's amassed to this point, that insulates him from feeling incentivized to even do that shit.
That's on him though. I listen, I don't have no pity for a nigga who keep a bunch of bones around him.
Pity. I'm just and like,
now you got all these, now 10 years, 15 years into your career, you ain't got not a real nigga in your entire circle. So now like you're a product of not having no real shit in your circle.
Absolutely.
Right? Chubbs talked all that shit about what was going to happen if Kendrick came out with, and then Kendrick came out with 3 more joints. Where Chubbs at?
Man, he needs,
you know what I'm saying? Like I think for me, that's Drake's biggest problem. Like, I think a real nigga would have told him, like, nigga, just disappear. Like, we don't need this. Like, let's just chill for a year. Like, but how do you chill for a year when your whole life is music, when you don't have anything else?
Yeah,
and that goes back to that point that I made at the beginning. Right.
Does he seem like he has anything? I mean, and I know he got a son that Pusha T forced him into acknowledging and putting in pictures.
I would say he doesn't have anything to put him in the spotlight. I'm sure he has other business ventures and things that's gonna make him money, but he don't have anything to keep him.
But see, that's not even my point, right? Because I think that's not true, right? We've seen Drake act in Degrassi, we've seen him on SNL, like we've seen him in little skits. He's an actor. Drake is in fact a character. Yeah. I think that's what people have forgotten over these years. Drake is really Aubrey and 40. That's a group, that's a collective. That's words from his mouth. I ain't make that up.
Real.
So I think like Drake has other avenues in which I think if Drake wanted to get into acting, there's a way for him to do that. What I'm saying is I don't think that Drake has anything real that would distract him. Like, I have a real life that distracts me from the focus of the show sometimes. I'm busy. I have a real job and real friends and a real man and real stuff going on that prevents me from being able to give You Weren't There 100% of my focus 100% of the time. Right. And I don't have a problem with that because I have a real life. Right. And I don't think it's healthy to begin to make your hobbies, right? And that's minimizing it, I know. But I think it's very dangerous to not know where the work ends and you begin. I know where the work ends and where I begin now.
Well,
and it took me a long time to realize that because I was going broken music just like everybody else. But I think now I do have that balance. I don't know if he has that balance.
He probably don't, because you got to look at it. Like you said, he was an actor on Degrassi.
Right.
You 15, 16 years old. You're
paying your
child prodigy, to be honest.
Is way bigger than how you leaped into the game compared to everybody else.
So when you enter the game, you're an actor, but then you just catapult to this superstar rapper.
Because you already have like a built-in audience through Degrassi.
Right. So he probably does not. You know,
that's how it seems. And we, you know what I'm saying? These just our opinions, but he just doesn't seem like he has for all the things that he does, for all the cool dinners and the basketball court in the house and NBA friends. And he just doesn't seem like all that fulfilled with any of it.
Yeah. Well, that
and I think that's what like prevented him from being able to just walk away from that situation.
Because
Drake as soon as Drake is 35, 36.
35, 36. Okay, so
40.
So yeah, you ain't even. Well, he hasn't touched 40 yet. So
damn near.
You know,
matter of fact, I think Drake about 37. He born in 88. So Drake about 37, right?
38. Yeah, 38.
38.
Yeah,
30. Yeah. So I think like at that point in your life, you need to have built things outside of the music that fulfill you, right? Exactly. Like I feel like Beyonce, she be dragging herself back to music to make these albums for y'all because her real life is so excellent that it's like, oh my God, okay, it's time. Like, all right, let's go back to the gym. Like, let's get the dancers. Like, I feel like Beyonce has to drag herself out of her real life because her real life is great.
So do you think Jay will have to drag himself out the same way?
I think Jay not gonna ever drag himself out because he like his real life better than this rap shit now. Yeah. Like he like, nah, 444, like that was it. That was it.
I don't know.
I don't see Jay making another album. You think Jay gonna make another album? Maybe. I don't think he should.
I'm not going to say that it's going to be in the immediate future. It would definitely just kind of be like some for the fuck of it shit where like, and even 444.
A nigga almost 60. When is that gonna be?
I think so. So here's the thing for Jay and age limit specifically. He is probably one of the exceptions to that rule.
Okay, that's fair.
I like
Jay and Nas.
I think I like the way you think.
Because
Jay and Nas.
And again, because
you'll still listen to them 60s.
No, I would listen to Nas.
You want to listen to Nas?
I would listen to him, but not for the same reasons why I would listen to Jay.
Okay, let me get Stevens, and then I want to hear that.
Like, and it's like Jay has set a lot of precedents and standards.
He is the blueprint,
and literally, figuratively, in all senses of it.
Nobody can take that from him.
And then you have to think about how he was really smart, and even when he was not the at the forefront with the music, his influence and his plugins and his assists for the people that were in those spaces, the ones that are documented, the ones that aren't, that's what allows him to still be somebody that's like that real. It's like technically like if Michael Jordan was kidding and joking about, nigga, I'm 55, but I can still come back to the NBA. Although that sounds nuts.
Yeah, I don't know
just
about that.
It's the concept of like
off the bench.
your status. But even for somebody like Jay, if he was to do it right now, it's not like it could be something that you run to, but there's still the possibility that's just like, okay, cool.
Now, I mean, we live right now too. We're gonna try to integrate that more. But one of our followers just made Ski Mask 13. Shout out to you. He made an interesting point. So he said Jay got another album in him. When you're the industry, age doesn't matter. He also said when it comes to Jay and Nas, both the guys in the industry, they could be 75 on some MLK and still like we're gonna listen. Is there truth to that?
That's essentially the point that I'm making.
I will say with Nas, our age group will listen to it. Youngers is not gonna listen to it. But if Jay put out anything, because he will control the masses, they're gonna listen to it. That would be the difference. That's why I say I would listen to Nas.
But you don't think these kids would?
Hell no.
I don't know.
Hell no.
I think like Nas, if we've been real,
Nas not gonna put out that single that make you want to sing along.
I think Nas's understanding of the industry is such that like I don't need to do that. Like he putting out bodies.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. Like Nas's understanding of the industry is like he's making albums for people who still listen to albums. But I think that tracks across generations. I don't agree with you there. I see your point, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't agree. Like, because I definitely think like Nas like is so tapped in as far as the music. Because you gotta think like Nas's kids are like these kids. So I think like he's very tapped in, and also Nas like for all his grown man shit, he still got like a youthful air to him. Somebody call it immaturity.
You look at it in the sense of what was that conversation with Jim Jones not too long ago. He was better than Nas as far as lyrical ability, which we know that wasn't true.
Okay, yeah, that's stupid.
He had more of a
Jim Jones not better than anybody.
Jim, no, I mean the point. Jim made a bigger impact than what Nas did in the culture to a certain degree.
You agree with that?
No. I agree with it because of what happened mainstream wise. So you gotta look at it like Nas. Yeah, we know top 5 all time.
Right.
Nobody can see him lyrically, but what did Nas do for people outside of just rapping? Like, what trend did he set? Whatever he had going on besides Uber, because he owned
Ring.
Uber.
It was Ring, not Uber.
Well, one of them car services that I don't take, but
Nas invested $4 million in Ring.
Like
and he got
Jim,
like 40 out of it.
I think with that, like what Jimmy was saying, as far as what he was doing, he had a whole East Coast really on Dipset. Like, even though he was part of the group, but that's probably why he felt the way he felt with the whole situation with Nas. Not that he's lyrically better, but culture-wise, I had more influence over everybody than what you did. You only had a moment, a moment when he did Stillmatic and Godson. That was moments. Because
I think he had more moments outside of
No. After that,
I'm gonna let you finish before I annihilate this bullshit.
After that, you had what Hip Hop Is Dead, but that didn't do anything, even though that was a great ass album. That was a great album. But you looking at
that didn't do anything?
Nah, not to the point where, because Black Republicans, that kind of, I wasn't expecting that from Jay and Nas, because that was the anticipation of their first song. So if that was the anticipation, it was kind of a letdown for what people were expecting. At least in my opinion, it was a letdown for me because I wasn't expecting that. But as far as the culture standpoint, Nas, great rapper, all-time greats, top 3, but when he drops, no one is really like, unless they're in our generation, to say, oh, Nas just dropped the joint, let me take a listen. But if Jay was to drop, everybody is going to have to listen. They're going to have to listen.
Because Jay.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
I agree with that.
That's what I mean, that he'll be, across the board. He could do that at 60.
Okay.
Who's that? Like Paul McCartney or all them old white individuals that be dropping?
Bruce Springsteen.
And
it's like,
that would be Jay.
To further kind of like reinforce that point, hip hop as a art form that's recognized commercially, where it's documented like all the history for it, it's just still what, under the 60-year threshold as an existing art form.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We are just now starting to get tangible examples of what that could look like for our genre.
Right.
Yeah,
because it's like,
that's true.
With rock and roll being what it is, even though that was started by Black people, a lot of these we'll get into that shit later. Last day of Black History Month. Please be mindful of shit like that. Yo. So,
happy Black History Month.
Hello.
Say it, Steven.
But there are more examples of folks being able to age into being those, it's like overly established legacy acts. And you think about like soul music, like hip hop hasn't had an opportunity to have somebody like Stevie Wonder, because the art form hasn't been recognized and hasn't been in existence long enough to even have that precedent be set.
I would venture to say that Pharrell is moving into that role.
It's and again, like I said, like
as like this generation Stevie Wonder. Yeah, I think that there could be an argument made for that. I'm not saying he is Stevie Wonder because he's not that talented. No offense,
Stevie.
But Stevie was just like. Well, I think Pharrell would agree with that. Stevie was a dog, but I do think that like if we're talking about like impact and influence and the ability to like step into anybody's studio and you willing to listen to what this guy got to tell you about how this record should go. Yeah, I think Pharrell is one of the few that can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think Stevie step into anybody's studio today and he tell you to do something, you do it because it's Stevie Wonder. I think Pharrell is one of the few that has that same ability.
I think you got Pharrell, Timbaland.
Nah.
I think people will respect Timbaland.
I think Timbaland tried to work with Ari and it didn't work, so that's not true.
With Ari, okay.
Timbaland's also kind of on thin ice with his endorsement of the AI.
Yeah.
See, Timbaland has a very distinct sound. That sound does not work with everybody.
Like
Pharrell sound kind of works with everybody.
You would have people come and listen to Swizz Beatz, and his sound ain't what it used to be.
I would never listen to what Swizz Beatz had to tell me.
Why not?
I don't know. Like,
First
of all, take the knowledge from what he does have.
I'm still I'm still mad. That's
if we're talking about like the same tip off that we had as far as like Universal, I'm listening to it because you're like that's only reserved for like a certain level of elevation.
That's right.
Like and it's not the Swizz, but like Swizz, even out of his generation of peers, might not be top 5 if you really think about it.
Out of his peers, top 5, he might be number 5.
Who?
Out of his peers.
So that would be like from early 2000s. That's from like late mid 90s.
Who are we talking about?
Swizz.
Who? So I don't like because I'm thinking like
I think Swizz is only a titan in the industry. I think like if you step outside of like the big names of the industry, these kids don't know who he is. They don't respect who he is. Yeah. Like, if I'm a new artist coming out of this area and Swizz is like, I'm willing to help you like do whatever with this album for this amount of money, I'm gonna tell Swizz no.
Well, that would be ignorant then. If you get that opportunity and not know who
Swizz is not like to me like, and this is what I'm saying where I feel like there are tiers. Yeah. Like when you talk about Pharrell on this tier, right, as like an icon, really.
Transcendence.
Right? Transcendent, right? Swizz, Tim, no. Like, I love Swizz and Tim, right? They have been the soundtrack to a big portion of our lives.
And Tim will be a little bit closer to my mind.
Swizz is in particular. I think Timbaland is so versatile, like, he could still get out here and go crazy. I don't think that Swizz Beatz music is transcendent. I think conversely, I think Swizz is what you're saying about Nas. He had a moment, and that moment been over for a long time. Now, Swizz is like, he has like, his place in the industry. But no, I'm not giving Swizz no money to creative direct my album. Are you fucking dumb? Like, no, get the fuck out my studio section. As a matter of fact,
other options that was on the table. I'm not giving
Swizz a fucking dollar to produce shit. That music is so. Listen to I'll give you a perfect example. The theme song for The Godfather of Harlem.
I actually like that though.
It's a great theme song, but you want to listen to that bitch in your headphones? Like, get the fuck no. We're not doing this.
It's so crazy.
We're not acting like Swizz is a goat.
You know what?
Like,
No, I gotta say this. What I will say is,
Swizz, you're not a goat. I said
what the song say? Open up my window again. You know what I'm saying? Like that is
I fell asleep just now when you said that shit.
But nah, I actually thought about doing that with my band. Like just because I like that theme song so much, and everybody did Power when Power came.
You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna see people standing around getting their drinks, and as soon as you play your shit, they come back.
I did think about it though, because I was like, how many people actually watch Godfather Harlem?
How many people, even if they don't watch it, would like that song?
Like, oh man, if I did it, it would, yeah.
I mean, for band crank it, because go-go makes everything better. We talked about that last week. Like, how many go-go songs do we know that have made traditional songs, whether they were pop, whether they were rap, whether they were R&B, because it streams across all of those genres, which I think is also very impressive. But like, how many songs are better because they got turned into a go-go record? I'm not even listening to Lloyd's version of Lay Your Head No More. I don't want to hear that. I don't like the production.
I don't listen to.
I want to hear his voice, but I want to hear it with reaction.
The original Hello, I don't listen to that.
Ashley Simpson, y'all don't even know who the hell that is, but you know what Hello is.
I don't listen to the original Pieces of Me. Can't, So it's a lot. It's a lot of songs in the go-go industry where it's way better.
It's better. I think that's what makes go-go as special as it is. But I do want to go back to a point that you made, right? And so I want to make sure I understand this before I comment on it. You're saying that Jim Jones has more cultural impact than Nas? And has also been like more commercially successful? Is that what we're saying? Check yourself check yourself.
More impact than Nas.
Because I'm finna get on your ass. Go ahead though.
More impact than Nas, yes. As far as to the outlet to the masses of what it was projected to be. Okay. Like with Nas, he knew, okay, I'm one of the greatest rappers, but he wasn't targeting the youngest that Jim Jones was targeting with the pants sagging, the chains, and the drip.
You mean because Nas is not immature and still trying to be a 50-year-old teenager? But carry on.
That's what I mean. It was at that particular time. It was more people that were doing what Dipset was doing than what Nas was doing at that particular time, as far as the trendset and the dress. Where they partied at. Like at that time, At that time,
was Jim Jones responsible for that influence, or was that somebody else?
That was Dipset. So you got to put
that was Dipset.
That was Dipset. So if
Dipset exists without Jim Jones,
that's what I'm saying.
Dipset might not exist without Jim Jones, though.
Not from a technical, like from a practical sense. Like he was, I think, a person that helped to keep that group together. But do they need him in that group? No, you could put anybody in Jim Jones' place, and it would have still been the same.
You couldn't.
Okay.
I would say that because they had other.
Go ahead and wrap this shit up so I can tell you why all this is wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. Tell me why this is wrong. You fact checking?
You goddamn right. I'm fact checking. That's what the fuck I do.
So I ain't talking about numbers. See, you about to give me numbers. I ain't saying nothing about numbers. I'm talking about the influence on the culture.
No, we're talking about influence.
All right, let me hear it.
Okay.
Let me hear
So what is Jim Jones' biggest song? I think that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Ballin'. To say that we can have a discussion about impact and not include numbers at all, I think is a little ridiculous. It does have an influence on the impact, right? So, of course you say that, right? All you local niggas say that shit, but I'm being real. So, listen.
Star. Natural born star.
You're right. You a star right here. But we talking about everywhere, right? I'm just giving it a buck. We don't get on here and laugh. Listen, right? So, Jim's most successful song, how well did it do?
Shit, I have no idea on numbers wise.
Right. So that album,
that shit gotta be the single
Ballin'
itself,
came off.
the single itself gotta at least be platinum.
Right. The single is platinum.
The
right?
single itself gotta be platinum.
The single is platinum.
It gotta be a few times platinum. Right? I would give it at least 3 times platinum.
It's
okay.
One. It's one.
Really?
See, y'all be thinking these nigga records transfer over and they don't. That's your problem right there.
Like I said, I could one plat.
I would have gave it 3.
I would have gave it 1 plat. Maybe
and
2.
Also, that was part of the streaming era, so it skews the numbers a little bit.
Okay.
But the album, right? Singles are great, right? And he is like this, 50-year-old teenager. So I know that his focus is maybe more on what the teenagers are focusing on, which is streams, right? But the album itself, Diary of a Summer.
Yeah, I think
74,000 units.
I was about to say that didn't even go platinum.
74,000 units. Yeah. It's not even gold. Right. Yeah. And when you say Nas, nobody was fucking with that Hip Hop Is Dead album, right?
No, I said I actually enjoyed that album.
Is that what you said?
I actually love that.
We're gonna make sure we play that clip back.
Yeah, play that clip. I definitely said that. I was actually listening to
when you talk about
Ashes the other day.
Influence and impact, to say that the numbers don't matter to me is a little bit crazy, but let's go over the numbers a little bit anyway. Right. So obviously Nas's most commercially successful albums would be It Was Written, I Am, and Stillmatic. Right. Mm-hmm. It Was Written, 3.5 million. I Am, 3.5 million. Stillmatic is platinum. This album, because you actually did say that Hip Hop Is Dead didn't really do anything. So that's why I say that you didn't like the album, but you said that it didn't do anything. You sticking by that?
What did it do?
Because that album went gold.
It went gold. Okay.
Right, as did Godson, which to me was
Godson was one of his best albums.
Yeah, to me, it's one of his best albums, but it's not necessarily the one that people know him for, though.
Right,
right. But 2 albums that, if you're not a real Nas fan, you don't even really know about, still went gold. Mm-hmm. Jim with a platinum single that was ringing off in the clubs and in our neighborhoods still only went platinum with that single. That's the difference. The difference when you talk about impact, to say that an artist who can only move a single is more impactful than an artist who can move an entire album without all of this additional promotion, rollout, sagging jeans, and acting like you 12, to me is crazy.
But see, that's what I mean as far as the impact of what Dipset represented.
But you keep saying Dipset, like Jim Jones is Dipset, and he not. If you could put Noriega in Dipset at that point in time, and it wouldn't have made no difference.
It would he
was just a gangbanger in the group. He's not special. I'm not gonna let y'all do this.
I got disagree.
Jim is not special.
I ain't say he was special.
Then what are we talking about? You talking about he got more impact than Nas, and he's not even special.
At that particular time, from 2004 to probably 2010,
give or take,
that was Dipset for real.
You know
that was Dipset as far as because I used to travel a lot too.
This is what I'm saying. I have an easy way to dispute that.
Okay,
when you talk about impact,
what you talking about?
The easiest way to dispute that was the verses between the Locks and Dipset. Dipset did nothing. Dipset got blown out on it. You know what? Because those songs were just a moment. What you're saying about Nas is actually true about Dipset. The reason why Dipset didn't ring off in that versus battle with the Locks is because that music, that moment in music, is fucking fucking over. Nobody cares about that anymore, including the niggas who was listening to it.
That's not the reason. That's not the reason why it didn't ring off. It didn't ring off because they really not friends like that no more. When they did verses, they wasn't really cool with each other. Like, it was something to do for a check. Like the Locks, the reason why it rung off like that, because they put their heart in that. You know what I'm saying? Like Dipset they didn't have their heart in that. It was just a check.
Niggas got every excuse for why niggas ain't popping.
I'm not saying it's an excuse. It's just stating what it really is. If they actually came out and was still collectively had that chemistry together, that shit would have been totally different.
I don't think so.
That shit would have been totally different.
So.
I don't think
Locks
it would
probably
have
still would have won,
different.
But their songs would have hit.
I don't think
it would not have been that different.
I don't think it would have been that different.
Jada annihilated them all on his own with a mixtape freestyle. What are three niggas who friends gonna do about that?
But that's what I'm saying. If they really got their back, they could. Man, Cam could have did the same thing. You forget Cam is nice.
They all played their individual hits and they still did nothing.
But even if
it's not because they not buddies, it's because that music was a moment and that moment has passed.
Now, if you heard that right now, them moments that you talk about,
we heard them. We heard them on the verses. It didn't work.
No. If you were in the club partying right now
and you play Ballin', I'm gonna say turn this bitch off.
Ballin' came on,
turn it off.
People would lose their shit.
You crazy. Only people who are 40 and over. And on that note, it's time we get up out of here. I'm gonna be doing this with these niggas all day. But listen, we're gonna get Steven and we're gonna get Link back on here for another episode, man. But we do gotta get out of here. Let y'all get y'all exits and then we're gonna roll. Link.
All right, yeah. Make sure y'all check me out, man. Like I said, Yes Band 2.0. Got my birthday party on YouTube. Yes Entertainment. Look that up. All you gotta do is type in Yes Band 2.0. All that's gonna come up. I just had my birthday bash, man. Great success. Got a show coming up in March. Strictly Business out VA. Check my page. You can get the flyers because I don't really know the address off the top of my head right now because it's in March. But got a lot of things coming up for the summertime and the spring. So yeah, just check me out. Yes Band 2.0 _ fan page.
Steven.
So appreciate you as always for having me. I am Steven X is where you can find me on all streaming platforms. Currently do have some music out, working very meticulously on things in the cut. Hopefully to have a release sometime in the summer once my personal life gets a little more in line and I get these certs together for my IT class. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's all that I really got for right now. Appreciate y'all as always for having this space, and that's all my time till the next time.
Amen. And I am, of course, your host at Mia Was Here. Make sure you follow us on IG and TikTok at You Weren't There Podcast. Of course, the live show Sunday, March 15th. We got a great panel of amazing people who are going to be speaking to you guys about love, about relationships, about finances, and about what it means to be Black in this community and in this era. So I hope to see each and every one of you guys come out on March the 15th. If you haven't gotten your RSVP, too late. They sold out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for always tuning in to You Weren't There. Happy Black History Month. It is the last official day, man. So you know what we are. You know what we do, man. We have influenced and impacted the entire world. So if you're Black, happy Black History Month. If you're not, sucks for you.